Do you find yourself at a loss for words with that crush? With these 3 techniques, you will never run out of things to say, keeping the conversation flowing and the sparks flying. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Your presence and support mean the world to us. If you're excited to discover how to elevate your conversational skills and forge deeper relationships, go ahead and treat that like button with a gentle tickle. And if you're looking to arm yourself with some of the most crucial information you've ever heard regarding relationships, don't hesitate to give that subscribe button a hearty slap and ring the notification bell. You'll be the first to get the inside scoop on our latest content, tips, and relationship wisdom. Be sure to stay with us until the end. We've got a special treat lined up, additional bonus techniques that you won't want to miss. These aren't just any tips. They're the result of hundreds of hours of dedicated research, exploring countless books and courses to bring you the crème de la crème of relationship wisdom. So, are you ready to transform the way you communicate? Let's get started. In the interplay of conversation, where each individual contributes to the flow of dialogue, the ability to always have something to say is a subtle craft. This craft, though not directly named in biblical texts, aligns with the reflective wisdom that has influenced many across generations. We shall consider 3 techniques, each one reflective of a life lived in accordance with principles that could be traced to ancient, enduring wisdom. Technique 1, yes and. Exercising the yes and technique with others. In a group setting, the yes and technique can be practiced through intentional dialogue exercises. For example, during a conversation, one might contribute an idea, and the next person will respond with yes and, followed by an expansion or addition to that idea. This not only acknowledges the initial contribution, but also builds upon it, creating a richer, more nuanced conversation. Imagine a discussion about community service. One might say, "We could organize a food drive." The next person would add, "Yes, and we could partner with local businesses to set up collection points." Another might follow, "Yes, and we could also offer information on nutrition and resources for long-term assistance at these points." This not only creates a cascade of collaborative thought, but also forges a sense of unity and shared purpose. Exercising the yes and technique alone. Alone, one can practice the yes and technique through reflective writing or meditation. Take a concept or a piece of wisdom and write it down, then respond to it with yes and, as if in dialogue with the self, building upon the idea. For instance, one may reflect on the concept of patience. Writing down, "Patience is a virtue that requires cultivation." One could then respond with, "Yes, and it can be developed through mindfulness and daily reflection on our actions." Alternatively, in meditation, one can reflect on a passage or a principle and mentally affirm it with yes and, followed by personal insights or resolutions that build upon it. For instance, reflecting on the principle of kindness, one could meditate on specific ways to enact kindness in daily life, thus internalizing the principle and expanding upon it in a personal context. A practical application. To illustrate, consider the biblical principle of love. Love your neighbor as yourself. Applying the yes and technique, one might affirm, "Yes, and this means actively seeking to understand their needs and helping to meet them where possible." Or, "Yes, and it involves empathizing with their experiences, celebrating their joys, and offering comfort in their sorrows." The yes and technique is not just a conversational tool, it's a lens through which one can view the world, a lens that focuses on affirmation, contribution, and the weaving of individual threads into a collective tapestry. Whether in company or solitude, it serves as a powerful exercise in fostering the qualities of self-control, empathy, and fortitude, crucial in overcoming destructive emotions and nurturing a spirit of togetherness. Technique 2. Before I tell you Technique 2, be sure to treat the like button with the utmost disrespect and throw it in the Atlantic Ocean where it can live. It's days out wondering how it's like to have friends. Also, please subscribe. The YouTube algorithm will appreciate that. Now on to Technique 2, word of association. The word of association technique is a practice that can enhance one's ability to think quickly and connect ideas, fostering creativity and fluidity in conversation. While this method may not be directly derived from scriptural teachings, it resonates with the biblical principle of meditation on the Word and the world, which encourages believers to see the interconnectedness of all things. Exercising the word of association technique with others. In a communal setting, the word of association technique can be employed in a group dynamic to enrich discourse. The exercise begins with one person stating a word, and the next person immediately responding with the first word that comes to mind. This continues around the group, creating a chain of associations that can reveal interesting pathways of collective thought. Consider a group reflecting on the concept of faith. The first person says trust, the next might say security, followed by peace, and so on. This not only brings to light the multifaceted nature of a single concept, but also encourages a deeper understanding of the group's collective psyche. Exercising the word of association technique alone. Individually, one can engage in the word of association technique as a form of introspective practice. This can be done by selecting a word and then writing down, or mentally noting all the associative words that spring from it. This practice can open new avenues of thought and can be a form of meditation on the interconnectedness of ideas and values. For instance, if one were to meditate on the word wisdom, associations might include understanding, discernment, experience, and knowledge. Reflecting on these associations can deepen one's appreciation for the comprehensive nature of wisdom as celebrated in Proverbs and other biblical texts. A practical application. A practical application of the word of association technique might involve exploring the biblical concept of hope. Starting with hope, one might associate perseverance, which could lead to character, and from there to promise, and so forth. This creates a mental exploration of how hope is not just an isolated virtue, but part of a greater constellation of qualities that support and enhance each other. The word of association technique, like the yes and technique, serves as a tool for building upon foundational concepts, encouraging a layered understanding of principles that are central to personal growth and spiritual development. Through this method, we can appreciate the depth and breadth of concepts that are central to our lives, seeing them not as isolated pillars, but as interwoven strands in the rich tapestry of our shared human experience. Technique 3. Free writing. Free writing, distinct from the yes and word of association techniques, is a solitary exercise that unleashes the flow of thoughts without the constraints of external dialogue or immediate association. This practice, while involving writing, trains the individual to craft narratives and conversations from the ethereal substance of their thoughts, mirroring the creation ex nihilo, out of nothing, that underpins much of the biblical narrative of creation. Exercising free writing with others. Though typically a solitary endeavor, free writing can be adapted for a group setting. In this collective practice, each participant writes continuously for a set period without regard to grammar, spelling, or even topic consistency. Afterward, the group can share excerpts of their writing, providing a springboard for discussion and further conversation. This process reflects the collective wisdom found in Proverbs, where a multitude of counselors bring success. The sharing of freely written thoughts can yield a wealth of ideas and perspectives. Exercising free writing alone. In private, free writing becomes a spiritual exercise, akin to prayer or meditation, where one's innermost thoughts and dialogues are laid bare on paper. It's an act of confession and self-reflection that can serve as a powerful tool for personal development. By setting a timer and writing without pause, the writer may find themselves delving into topics, emotions, and ideas that are not usually at the forefront of their mind, echoing the psalmist's meditations that are often raw and unfiltered. As an example, if one were to free write on the concept of forgiveness, they might find themselves exploring personal anecdotes, hypothetical conversations, and even crafting letters they never intend to send. This process can bring to light the complexity of forgiveness, the hurdles to giving and receiving it, and the paths toward reconciliation. A practical application. Free writing's practical application lies in its ability to train the mind to initiate and develop conversations spontaneously. As one engages in this practice, The mind becomes adept at generating ideas, responses, and narratives, skills that are directly transferable to conversational settings. The writer learns to trust in the natural progression of their thoughts, allowing them to flow without judgment, which can be particularly empowering in real-time discussions. In essence, free writing is about tapping into the creative wellspring that exists within each person, like the biblical figure of Bezalel, filled with the Spirit of God, in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship. The free writer learns to create from a place of inspiration that seems divinely appointed. The practice builds confidence in one's ideas and thoughts, enabling the free writer to contribute to conversations with a sense of assurance and creativity that might otherwise have remained dormant. Ultimately, free writing can be seen as a form of internal dialogue that, when brought into the light of community and conversation, enriches both the individual and the collective experience. It is a testament to the power of the written word as a precursor to spoken dialogue, a catalyst for the kind of profound communication that can occur when we allow our innermost thoughts to surface and be shared. And that wraps up our deep dive into mastering the art of conversation. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for lending us your ears and your time. Your interest and engagement are what drive us forward, fueling our mission to deliver content that truly makes a difference in your lives. We're here to serve you, to offer insights and strategies that can unlock the vast potential you hold within. We invest countless hours into researching these topics because we believe in the transformative power of personal growth. Our goal is to guide you toward reaching heights you've never imagined, tapping into that well of untapped potential. And, as a token of our gratitude for your dedication and to ensure you're equipped to take these lessons further, we've prepared a special gift. Check the description for a link to a PDF. This isn't just a recap of what we've discussed. It includes the techniques we've covered today in a simple, digestible format, plus a bonus of 2 additional techniques. Consider this our way of saying, thank you. Now before you go, show that like button who's boss with a powerful smack and wrap the subscribe button in a warm embrace to stay on top of what we have in store. Trust me, you do not want to miss our next video. We're just getting started, and it's only going to get better from here. The journey of improvement never ends, and we're excited to be part of yours. See you in the next video. Keep growing, keep striving, and remember, your potential is limitless.